For this
Too
team,
weak. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like this just says to me that you want to go out the competition. I mean, with kids, for me, I mean, I'm a big advocate of playing kids, but only if they're good enough. I mean, you got to remember we're Arsenal Football Club, and we have ambition to be one of the best teams in the world, and that means that the kids need to be up there as like being some of the best kids in the world. And there's probably a reason why you haven't seen any of them this season. Basically, because Mikel Arteta doesn't think that they're ready, and he brought a 15-year-old up. He plays for the under-18s, past every other under-21 player, and played him before he played any of the under-21s. So that says a lot to me. That says to me that a 15-year-old kid in Ethan is better than every other kid that's older than him in the academy. So that just says to me that none of the under-21s are ready for the first team. And now we're talking the first team that is at the top of the Premier League. We're at the top of the Premier League, challenging Manchester City. Manchester City have only had one kid come into their team, and that's Phil Foden, the kid that come on and scored the other night. And obviously, you got to remember, Manchester City's academy is different. My son's academy footballer, well, was an academy footballer, but and I was part of that whole when Man City were basically just going around to academies, and they were just stripping all the best players from academies and taking them to their team, and they were doing that because they wanted to have the best team in the world. But in the last 7 years, not one of those players that Man City have taken from other teams, and there was a lot, has made it into their first team.
What I would say is one of
made it into their first team with any decent level of football is Phil Foden.
I mean, I would say Foden's level's been exceptional.
Exactly.
Like when you're talking
same level as Saka, isn't he? He's same level as Saka. But what my point is that you don't get many academy footballers, academy kids that come into top 5 teams. I
would definitely say I disagree with Arsenal. Like,
with who?
I think I can go back to the childhood. Like first Arsenal captain was Tony Adams, academy product, given his debut at 17.
Yeah.
Right now, we've got Saka and Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe was our second top goal scorer last season. Yeah. Saka is arguably one of our best players.
So
Arsenal have a very, very, very good academy, and like the under 23 team is where it is for a reason. Like, and also when you look at,
would you see where they were last year? Did you see where they were last year? Did you see where they were last year?
Because a number of the players that are involved in the core of the group now are on loan. Like, so, you're looking at, again, Coutinho is out on loan now. You've got players like, and Blackpool, he's been doing really well for them. Scored in the derby game against Preston North End.
He wasn't like bred in the Arsenal academy, really. We picked him from somewhere else.
I hear that, but
from
I definitely think there are players of quality in that academy, and
that's going to touch the first team.
Yeah.
So why hasn't he used any this season? Why isn't he putting it on the bench, as Bobby said?
It's still young. Like the time will come, but that's what you want to do. You want to kind of incrementally give them the taste for first team action.
If they're good
enough. I've definitely seen some players that are good enough. That right back Walters is very good. Very, very good.
Why isn't he playing? Why isn't he playing?
He's playing as a right back.
Yeah, why isn't he playing? Oh, that's what I'm saying. Why isn't he been? He's at the age of he's
18.
Yeah. So why didn't he get included in the team rather than?
Because I just think at 18, it's not necessary. Like
good enough. You put in the team. Saka was put in the team at 17, and he's been in there.
Yeah, I mean, but this is the thing with Arsenal fans. Yeah, no, I'll be honest, right? We can't benchmark the development of one player or one special player. Yeah, we can't say if you can't. No, because let me just break that. Let me break that down, Bobby. What I mean by that, yeah, Saka broke into the team at 17. Van Dijk, Mohamed Salah, they peaked when they were later. Yeah, when they were older. If we had just kind of drawn the line, in front of the sand in front of these good players and said they've not developed at Saka's rate, they can't be very good, we wouldn't see the talents that Salah and Van Dijk are today. Like, there is completely different paths of development for different players. You know, like, I get it. Saka's come through, Martinelli's come through, and it's got us all thinking that's the standard now. That's the standard. But you can't impose that standard on every single youngster. Like, it's not
100% you can.
different youngsters develop at different paces, bro. And we've seen it.
So what do you think we do? We wait 5 years for Nelson to get.
I didn't say 5 years either, you know, like, but we've definitely seen.
We do what Chelsea do and learn Ruben Loftus-Cheek out for 7 years and then get him back in the team. What I don't understand your point.
I mean, I think that's the other. I think that's the other end of the spectrum. You know, like that.
Let me finish my point. You've got like the likes of Mount, you've got the likes of Reece James that went out on 2-3 loans and then came straight back into the team and did well. And then you've got thousands of others that didn't, and all they did was sold them. And they did well at other clubs, but they were never the level that Chelsea needed to win Champions Leagues, to win leagues. And that's what we need to do at Arsenal. And that's what Mikel Arteta will do. That's what Man City will do. That's what every top club will do. And I can guarantee you that not many of those teams that win leagues, that win Champions Leagues, will have many kids that were bred in the academy. It's just a fact. It's just
completely disagree. Arsenal, Man United. Let me hear this. Yeah, Arsenal, Man United.
Arsenal,
Man United have the longest history of having an academy product in our match day squads. United's goes back to the 30s. Ours is like the 40s or 50s. We've always had kids from our academy in the spine of our squad, bro. If you look at Chapman's era, if you look at Graham's era, and if you look at Wenger's era, yeah, the 3 great eras of Arsenal have all featured great academy players, and you're seeing it again with Arteta. Really, I mean, really looking at Saka, what's to say he's not spearheading what we're doing right now?
Okay, so tell me who was the greatest academy product in Arsene Wenger's era?
Ashley Cole, arguably the greatest ever Premier League left back.
That went to
Name
Chelsea.
me a better one.
That went to Chelsea.
Yeah, he went to Chelsea, but it's moot to the point that he was put in our team, and by the time he left to went Chelsea, had already cemented his legacy as the best ever Premier League left back. He was already playing to that caliber. That's why Chelsea wanted him.
Yeah, top level player.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
but you're not going to get many of them, though, are you? Let's face it. That's just.
Listen, Arsenal have had plenty over the years.
Well, you've only just mentioned one. You're saying plenty, but who are the others? All our other best players we bought. Facts.
Well, I would say Wilshere.
Okay.
I would say Bellerin before he got injured.
Bellerin? Really?
Yeah, no, the recency bias we applied to Bellerin, yeah. Like, honestly, like, the recency bias we applied to Bellerin, I don't think you remember before his injury against Chelsea.
Oh, I know everything about Bellerin, bro. You could never
Barcelona, all the top teams wanted him, bro. He was performing to the level of one of the best right backs in the world before he got injured. Injury ruined him, bro. I get it. We suffered, the last couple of years with him, so we forget this. But Bellerin was a very good player before he got that injury.
No, not for
you've just forgotten, bro. Like, respectfully, you have.
I used to watch him in the flesh. I've been going for the last 20 years.
That's what I mean, bro. Like, he was a top player, man.
He was a top player. I watched so much better. Paul Parker was better than him. Lauren was better than him. I've never ever rated Bellerin. Never. I've never ever rated him as a great Arsenal player. For me, that's just but that's just opinions, isn't it? Some people rate Harry Kane. I think he's rubbish. It's just opinions, isn't it? But yeah, you think that about academy players. It's just my stance. I've always had it. It's not something that we can agree or disagree on. It's just an opinion, isn't it? For me, all those players like Tony Adams, and we've had some. Yeah, you're right. We've had some fantastic players that have come out of the academy, but none of them have had great Arsenal careers and have done great things for our club.
Tony Adams is literally our most decorated captain. There's not a more decorated captain than Tony Adams.
Hold on a sec. Let me finish. I'd say within Arsene Wenger's era, only really Jack Wilshere came out of the academy, because I don't really think we can claim Fabregas, because We got him from Barcelona, but
We
for
did
me,
get him from Barcelona, but we put him in our academy.
Let me finish before
He
you
was
interject.
developed in our academy. He was brought as a kid.
Let
He
me
was
finish
brought as an academy product.
Let me finish my point before you interject. Is that those players that have been in the academy all that time, they have to have a certain level to be a worthwhile player for Arsenal. That's just my opinion. And other than that, you're going to have to be of a certain level so that we can sell you and get decent money for you, like Willock, like Iwobi, like all these players who, for me, were never good enough to play for Arsenal for where we want to get to, but getting good money for them.
Even at that, if you take the getting good money from them stance, how are you going to get good money from them if they're not playing? If you're not showcasing what capabilities they have?
Well, Willock hardly played, didn't he? And he went on loan, and we got 30 million off the back of him scoring goals for Newcastle. So it's that, isn't it? It's coming out of our academy. You're going to have a certain level. Man City are doing that, haven't they? Like Jack Harrison, Kieran Trippier, they all come from Man City's academy. Man City stockpiled them. They weren't good enough. They didn't even touch the grass at Man City, but they still ended up getting good fees for them, and they've gone up and decent players.
In order to get that fee,
as you've already pointed out, different players develop at different times, but I don't think Arsenal are at that period now where we've got time to wait 3, 4, 5 years for a player to develop. And to be honest, if you look at actually what's going on, you can see that the club haven't either, because they look at Willock. I actually think that Willock could actually be doing a decent job for Arsenal right now, but the club didn't have no time. They were like, nah, we're not waiting for you. We're going to sell you, and we're going to go with somebody else.
They definitely had time for Saka and Smith Rowe.
Hold on a sec. They probably thought, we've got Patino there.
We're
going to send him on loan, and we'll get
him. Definitely had time for Saka and Smith Rowe.
Yeah,
100%. They had time for Saka and Smith Rowe, man.
Exactly, because Saka and Smith Rowe are at a certain level. So Smith Rowe got into the England team off the back of substitute appearances. Saka's, he's you don't even have to talk about Saka. Saka is, there's levels in football players, and Saka is that same level of Foden, all the good kids of world football now. Saka's up there, and we're blessed to have him, just like Martinelli. We've got one either side. We're really lucky, but academies don't get those players all the time. And I mean, even look at Sancho. He's gone to Germany, had a fantastic loan. He's come back to Man United, and he hasn't proved to be as good as what maybe they thought he was. So would you say that was down to develop? Because he played all the games in Germany, and he's played all the games in the Premier League since he's come back, but he just isn't the same level as Saka, is he? He's not as good in games. He's not as lightweight, and it's made them go out now and buy another £100 million winger in Anthony. And now they're talking about going and buying that Rafael Leao guy or that Cody Gakpo. So they're on about even going and buying another guy because Sancho's not that level. So for me, we can keep developing these kids, and I think that's what academies do. They develop them, they keep developing, they put them into games, they put them into situations, and then let's see how they react. And when you look at, have you watched the Howland documentary? That tells you a lot. That because it's fantastic. It's a fantastic insight. In All or Nothing, they talk about Emil Smith Rowe when they sent him on loan to Germany, and it was interesting to hear that Mikel Arteta didn't speak about his ability. He spoke about his character, and he said the reason why we sent him on loan wasn't because of football. We sent him on loan to gain confidence because he was really quiet and he's really shy. So that to me says that the club had already ruled that Smith Rowe, your levels you are. We know that you're a player. We're going to give you the 10. We're going to give you a contract, but you just need to improve your confidence. You know what I'm saying? Whereas
there's plenty of players in our academy in the same boat.
They haven't done that. They haven't given them their time because they've assessed them and thought, you know what, now you ain't good enough. We're going to get rid of you.
I think it can be a case of timing, man. I think it's a very blanket judgment to say they're not good enough. Like timing can be key, man. And Nanuary was given a chance. You know what I mean? So for him to be given a chance shows that we tout him very highly.
Have you watched the Highland doc? Watch it. We've got him and Miles. They're the only two. They're the only two at the moment in the academy that stand out. Him and Miles.
No, there's more, bro.
And Sosa, Lino, the one. But we got him from West Brom. He's been in Birmingham. His dad's Portuguese. So we got him from West Brom last year. Loads of clubs wanted him because my son's agent told me about him. He's like,
Patino's been killing it at Blackpool as well.
I've been watching all his games. He's fantastic. He's like an Ozil regen, but he actually gets stuck in and works. So that means the club, they've seen him. They said, yeah, we're going to send you on loan to somewhere gritty. Norton Coffee as well, another one, doing brilliantly.
Yeah, Norton Coffee's good.
I actually wanted Coffee in this season. I thought that he'd come
Yeah.
in this season and we'd get rid of Cedric. But the fact that they've sent him on loan again, said, "Oh, probably you're not ready a year. We'll give you another year." And did you see him win he won the thing for England in the summer as well? So,
yeah, exactly, bro.
So for me, it's just about levels. It's not to say that all these kids can't get there eventually. I believe that they all can and they all can be great. But you know, you only get a Tony Adams every now and again. You only get a Patino.
Of course, but you only discover you have these players by giving players a chance.
Nah. You know what? Coaches will say a player 15 minutes.
Someone, oh wait, Bobby, let me add some context to what I just said. Yeah, just a second, Bobby. Someone had to say at the age of 17, Tony Adams is ready to go into that team now. 17 might be young for a centre back as well, might I add, yeah, because let's be real, centre backs, they peak when they're a lot older. It takes a lot more to trust a centre back that is below the age of 19 or 20. Yeah, someone had to give him that chance, and he had to take that chance. Yeah, and all I'm saying, yeah, is that is a big part of our history, bro. Ashley Cole was given a chance at 18. He was given a chance and he took it. He won 9 trophies with us. So we can say what we want about him going Chelsea. Yeah, like he was a big cornerstone of our success in that period. And let me tell you what I feel let me tell you, wait, sorry, Bobby. One last sentence, if I may, yeah. Let me tell you what someone from the academy gives you. Yeah. They understand the club, the ethos. Yeah, like it means more to them. They got the locality, they've got that connection with the club. You look at players like Gerrard. For me, he's one of the most influential midfielders that I've seen in the Premier League era. And I put a lot of that influence down to wait, please let me finish what I'm saying. I put a lot of that influence down to the fact that he does have an affinity with Liverpool as a city. This is the streets he grew up in, bro. Do you know what I mean? Like these are the streets that raised him, bro. Like, so when he puts on that Liverpool shirt, it's not just putting on the Liverpool shirt, is it? And
who are we talking about?
Steven Gerrard.
Steven Gerrard. He's a manager.
Yeah. Huh?
He's a manager. He's never won the Premier League.
No, but I'm talking about when he was a player, bro. Yeah, when he was a player. Yeah, when he was a captain of Liverpool. Yeah, when he was captain in Liverpool, dragging them to do things they had no place doing. Yeah, you can't get that, yeah, from someone that doesn't have that local affinity with that club. You understand? They grew up on the terraces, watching those games as a kid, growing up, yeah, developing, being like, this is the Liverpool way. You never walk alone. Do you know what I mean? Taking in all the culture and the actual club itself and what it means, yeah, to be a Liverpool man, bro. Yeah. And if you look at our successful eras of Chapman, of Wenger, and of Graham, you will find at least 2 to 3 of these men in every one of those eras. No exception. None whatsoever. And that's no coincidence, in my opinion. None. Zero. No, I don't believe so.